I think we all owe Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland a big round of applause because she just put on a masterclass on how to destroy yourself in Canadian politics. There's always jabbing that goes on in Canadian politics, people attacking each other personally, trying to undermine each other's credibility. But this clip of Chrystia Freeland responding to a serious question from Pierre Poilievre just demonstrated that she is not fit to be our finance minister and the Liberal Party is not fit to be governing this country. Because there's a little bit of a different expectation if you're actually in government, especially if you're a high ranking minister, that you're going to act a little bit more like an adult, especially since you have the most power in the room. And so you should be able to battle back against tough questions by pointing to your good record on the economy if you're the finance minister. The problem for Freeland is that she can't point to her good record on the economy. The economy is terrible. She's an incompetent finance minister and deputy prime minister. So all she has left is attacking Pierre Poilievre in a personal manner, saying that he's wearing more makeup than even I am. Let's just take that at just face value and say maybe that's a good jab. I don't really think it is. One, it's just not true, and it's just trying to go after Poilievre because he's very airbrushed in the way that he does his advertising these days. But let's just pretend that for some reason we all believe that this is a good hit on Pierre Poilievre. It shouldn't be coming from the finance minister. It just makes her look childish. This is something that Mark Garrettson should be saying. This is something that like an NDP MP or a backbench liberal should be saying, not the finance minister. Like, check this out and think in the mindset of a liberal. Does this actually make you like her more? Or would this make you just sort of roll your eyes and say, Chrystia, focus on your job?
Think that you pay down debt by borrowing more, that you stop inflation by printing money, and that you fight the drug overdose crisis by legalizing hard drugs. So at least they're consistent in their irrationality, Mr. Speaker. But now they've been forced to backtrack right before the election on their legalization of hard drugs because Canadians are revolting against the policy. Today we have a motion that will be voted in the House to permanently ban hard drugs. Will this government vote for that motion, or will they admit that they plan to legalize drugs again after the next election?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is wearing more makeup than I am today. Now, I think it's wonderful.
I'm going to ask colleague.
Like, no doubt Pierre Poilievre had some verbal flourishes in his question to Freeland, called her incompetent and the rest. But that's kind of normal political discourse. And I'm not coming from on the situation from the idea of that's unparliamentary language. I don't really care. Frankly, I think the parliamentary language rules in our House of Commons are way too strict. I think people should be able to yell at each other a little bit more, jeer. If you say something unkind, that's for the voters to decide whether or not they think it's inappropriate or not Greg Fergus or whoever the Speaker of the House is at the time to determine whether it's good or bad. Like, you can't even say wacko, and I think that in itself is wacky. But Chrystia Freeland just had this kind of smug, mean girl energy of, oh, well, yes, Pierre, you're asking me a very clear question about the state of the economy and what we can do to turn around our economic fortunes, but you're wearing more makeup than I am. You're the finance minister. You're literally second in command as the deputy prime minister. I don't know how to tell her this, but you seem to have a little bit more of a serious job than to be saying something that seventh grade. But this went on the entire time in the House of Commons with Chrystia Freeland. Here's another response. Sorry if it's a little bit of a longer clip, but Pierre Poilievre, again, asks a serious question, and Chrystia Freeland just starts going after him personally and acting just far too smug and fancy to have to answer a question from Pierre Poilievre and the opposition that is 20 points ahead of her in the polls. Can I just point that out? Your opposition is 20 points ahead of you right now in the polls. Maybe you should take them a little bit more seriously than pretending that you're way up in the clouds and they're way down there in the filth. You guys are actually losing to the Conservatives right now. Maybe you want to consider actually taking your job a little bit more seriously these days. rather than condescending to Canadians and then attacking your opposition as illegitimate.
Not only does the incompetent finance minister not know the inflation target, she doesn't know that you lock in low rates when you have the chance. Remember, the Prime Minister was saying, don't worry, we can double the national debt because interest rates are low. Yep. Glenn, problem is, I told him at the time that they should lock in those rates for 10 years or 30 years with long-term bonds. It turns out they didn't do that, and now $400 billion of that debt will roll over into these higher rates, forcing Canadians to spend more on interest than on health care. Why did he hire the worst mortgage broker in the world to be our finance minister?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, it's clear that the Conservative leader is in a grouchy mood today. And I think we all know why. The only thing he knows how to do is talk down Canada. And what he just cannot bear is the reality that thanks to our fiscally responsible economic plan, inflation is at a 3-year low. That's right. Inflation has been within the Bank of Canada for 4 months in a row. That's good news for Canada and Canadians.
My goodness, what's actually wrong with this woman? I don't understand why she thinks this is going to play well. Karina Gould already proves that this sort of third-grade teacher act isn't a good look. People like Pierre Poilievre. So when you talk down to Pierre Poilievre in that manner, you're talking down to the millions of Canadians who support him and are going to vote for him. Chrystia Freeland could actually lose her riding in downtown Toronto. That's how bad she is as a politician and how bad the brand of the Liberal Party is. And the idea that she's going to try and do a rally around the flag moment in the answer of this question, or to the answer to this question, and say, he keeps trying to drag down Canada. You guys are actually dragging the country down in terms of our standard of living. Don't go after him for merely pointing out how bad things currently are. And her then trying to pretend like he's always on about trying to attack us and he doesn't like our fiscally responsible plan. I'm not even going to respond to that. It's not fiscally conservative. We all know it's not. And if anything, this is just a further mockery of Canadians who, believe their lying eyes and ears and think that you guys are horrible at your jobs and deeply condescending. Chrystia Freeland, if I'm Justin Trudeau and I'm actually trying to win the next election, like if I was Justin Trudeau tomorrow, I would just resign and just be done with it all because that's what he should do. But if I was trying to win the next election and I was Justin Trudeau, the first person I get rid of, other than assuming that I can't get rid of myself, I get rid of Chrystia Freeland in a heartbeat, followed by Karina Gould, followed by Mark Miller, followed by Sean Fraser. These people are horrible, and they just seem so condescending. And you can be a little bit condescending if you're in government, and the numbers are great. Like the GDP is spiking, per capita GDP is doing great, unemployment is low. Then you can be a little bit condescending. When everything is as it is now, shut your mouth, get back to work, and if they ask you a question, just be very meek in saying, well, we're working on it. You guys are pressuring us when we're trying to get Canada back out of the pandemic slump that we've just come out of. Like, even that's a lie, but at least be sounding humble while you're lying. But Chrystia Freeland is incapable because the entire Liberal Party has basically embodied the narcissism of Justin Trudeau because, make no mistake, every single person in Justin Trudeau's cabinet might as well be wearing a Justin Trudeau face mask. They all just represent his interests. It's not like a normal party where the different personalities of the minister and their priorities really determine how their portfolio is handled. No, Chrystia Freeland does not move. She doesn't pick up a glass of water without getting Justin Trudeau's permission first. And that's why she is embodying the smugness that Justin Trudeau also embodies, simply because that's the way you get ahead in the Liberal Party. You play to the personality of Justin Trudeau, do everything he says, and hopefully you'll end up failing upwards over time. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. So if you guys want to donate to my legal fund, that would really help me out a lot. A lot of people have been donating recently, and it's been really helping me with the burden of costs I've been undertaking for this legal case, more than $29,000. The Give, Send, Go link is in the description below. And if you live on the west side of Calgary in the federal riding of Calgary Signal Hill and your current MP is Ron Liepert, I'm running to replace him in the Conservative Party nomination. So if you're a Conservative member in this riding, make sure to mark me number 1 and Michael Kim number 2 on your nomination ballot to make sure we have real Conservatives representing these Conservative ridings. And then also in the description of this video, not only is it my campaign website, but I have the TNT Telegram channel if you want to subscribe to that so you get all of our videos being posted directly to you on Telegram in order, and you don't have to rely on social media algorithms to show you our videos as they come out. Because I know a lot of people say that they just don't see some of my videos for like a week at a time, and the notification bells on YouTube often don't work. Sometimes they don't show you when we've posted something new, even if you're a subscriber. So if you join the Telegram channel, you'll just see everything that we upload in order as we do it. Anyways, that should be it for me today, guys. Have a good one.